All right, guys, welcome back to another overthrow disc golf video. Today, we're gonna be talking about the top reasons you're probably shanking to the right. Let's get into it. Drive. For those of you guys who watch our videos, Overthrow Disc Golf, we focus a lot on pulling with the arm, right? A lot of arming the disc. So something that I notice when I get new students is they've been practicing arming the disc. They're like, why am I shanking to the right? Right? I'm arming the disc and shanking to the right. Well, the main reason for that is this. When you go for a pulling motion, you're most likely going to pull straight across your body, which leads to a 12 o'clock release. Notice where my arm is. It's like in line with my shoulders here. All right, so when I pull the disc like this, I'm gonna always shank it to the right. If I'm lined up down this target line and I'm trying to throw this direction and I have released it at 12 o'clock, I will always miss it right. The reason for this is we need to be throwing not to 12 o'clock, but we need to be pulling towards an outward direction. All right, so we're not just pulling down this straight line and then trying to keep our release straight. We need to pull towards this 10 or 11 o'clock position. Now, I personally like to think about it as a 10 o'clock, sometimes a 9 o'clock release, especially if I keep on shanking to the right. Because what happens is you may think that you are throwing out enough, but look at that, I thought I just threw out, and look, I'm actually like at this 11/12 o'clock position, and many times I'm still gonna miss to the right. So depending on how far to the right you're missing will depend on how far out you think about throwing. For me, I like to think about it at this little 10 o'clock position. Ideally, it would be closer to 10, 11 o'clock. Just depends on who you are, how fast you're throwing, what the type of throw you throw. For me, I'm gonna think, reach back down my line, and instead of throwing straight, I'm gonna throw to this out position. So it looks like this. Ta-da! So that's the first reason you could be missing right. Reason number two for missing to the right. You may be throwing out. You're telling yourself, out, I'm still missing right. Well, you gotta worry about your back shoulder. You're the type of person that you're trying to throw out, you're missing right. You're like, what am I doing? I'm throwing out. I don't understand. I'm feeling like I'm throwing out at this 10 o'clock position, still missing right. I got you. That just means this back shoulder is too involved in your throw. So I could be reaching back, throwing out, but notice if I just shift my body to here, this is a very forward release. Notice I went from this out position and all I did was just turn my back shoulder in more towards the target. For those of you who are missing right, you're still throwing out, looks like you're gonna have to anchor this back shoulder. Now, I'm not gonna get into today on how to keep this back shoulder back, but I'll keep it short and sweet. You just need to use more of your arm and less rotation to keep this back shoulder back. If you want more information on that, we've got other videos for that specific issue. Next reason you might be missing to the right is you are actually reaching out too far. Now, what do you think will happen if you are thinking, let me pull towards the target, but you're reaching out like this? Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna pull way off to the right. Some of you guys are experiencing this because maybe you're trying to fix your footwork. An example of bad footwork, I start way off to the right on the tee pad, and I start moving my way to the left, and here I am in this position. My body's facing this way, but I wanna go straight down my target line, so I go out, and I throw down my target line. For those of you who are changing from this bad footwork right to left to making sure you walk up straight up your target line, you're gonna be launching it to the right. For you guys who are going through that form change, it's very important that you coil your shoulders, practice some standstills, because if I'm here and I was you, and this was how I was throwing, if I fix my footwork, watch what happens. This is what your body was used to. There's my target line. This is what your body was doing. No shoulder coil, first off. So look at this. Now I got a shoulder coil. And then from here, I'm in a much better position to pull down my target line. Now, the last way that I see people shanking right is grip locking. Spoiler alert, we want to grip lock. So many of you guys are missing out on massive speed potential because you are actively letting go of the disc to make sure you throw it down your line. You guys are missing out on so much speed. I say so much, it's like 5 miles an hour, but that's a lot. That's like 50 feet right there. One of the first things we work on this channel as coaches is we check grip. Are you actively releasing, or are you letting the disc rip out of your fingers? Some of you guys have learned that letting go gets you a straight line. And so your body, whether you know it or not, you're just letting go down your line. You guys need to hold on to the disc, and we're gonna go back to that first tip of throw out. Just like I talked about in the first tip, you need to throw out. This is why out is so important, because it will rip out of your fingers and there will be a pivot, right? So it's not gonna come out of my hand directly down the line I'm throwing my arm, which is why we're throwing out. Because if I throw out, you would think the disc would just keep going that way. But with a good grip where the disc is ripping out of your hand, that little redirect to the right that you're typically afraid of doing because you usually shank to the right, we're gonna use that. So throw your arm out, hold on to the disc to where it's ripping out, and as you'll see in this slow-mo, it's directly down my line. And instead of me doing a slow-mo for this one, I wanna show you this slow-mo clip I pulled from Anthony Barella's Instagram. Perfect example of him throwing out and perfectly hitting his target line, as you can see by the red line going straight down the middle of the field. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this really helped you guys out. I hope you can identify which shanker to the right you are, or why you're missing to the right, and that you'll be able to fix it. Maybe this video is not enough, and it probably won't be enough for most of you, which is why we have overthrowdiscgolf.academy for all of your coaching needs. Check out all of our coaches and pick one that you think will suit you, whether it's price, whether it's personality. We've got info listed under all the coaches. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch ya in the next one. Peace out.